Good evening. It's official. Brampton will be getting a cannabis store. Now, tonight was the deadline for every city to come up with a decision on whether they were going to opt in or opt out. And it was a very contentious issue here in Brampton. We know Brampton was one of 5 cities in the GTA that were undecided. Now, the special council meeting took over 3 hours to come up with a decision. And again, it was a very contentious issue. People sharing their emotions and feelings on why they were in support of it, others not so much. But in the end, 8 city council members were in favor, including the mayor, and 3 were not. And joining me now is Mayor Patrick Brown. Sorry, my throat's a little bit dry. So, Mayor, you were in support. Can you tell me why that is?
Well, ultimately, I think we're all disappointed with the provincial legislation. The fact that the federal and provincial government are going to get all the revenue and they throw the cost on how to implement this on municipalities is unfair. But at the end of the day, even though they're only offering 15% funding, at least it's something. Right. I want to make sure we have zero tolerance on drug-impaired driving. I want to treat drug-impaired driving as seriously as we do alcohol-impaired driving. I know most residents will be responsible, but if there is that idiot that isn't, I want to make an example of them. And right now, the provincial legislation says you only get the partial police funding if you opt in. If you opt out, you don't get anything. And ultimately, it's public safety that's paramount. This wasn't a debate over legalization. That ship has sailed. That was done by Justin Trudeau in Ottawa. This was about do we want the police funding that flows from opting in.
And I mean, there are a few people on City Council that were pretty obvious about not wanting these cannabis stores, including Councillor Charmaine Williams. So what do you have to say to them?
Listen, we had a great debate, and although it was a vote of 8-3. I appreciate the 3 councillors that raised concerns, and frankly, I think we incorporated their concerns into the motion about advocating to the provincial and federal governments that it needs to be a better system going forward. I think the federal government rushed this. I think the provincial government is being greedy, taking the revenue but not paying for the policing. But ultimately, I think we came up with a good motion, and frankly, we need to stamp out the black market. The fact that in communities that have opted out, we have more dispensaries opening up, it should be alarming. I've never used cannabis, but if someone is, they should do it through a legal store where it's not a dangerous product.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So we know stores can open as soon as April 1st. We also know that they have to be at least 150 meters away from schools. And what we've also been following is the other 4 cities that are discussing this decision tonight. We also know Aurora has opted in, but as for Halton Hills, Whitby and Vaughan, those results have not come in yet, but they will be posted on our website, citynews.ca.